Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For this video, we're going to be reacting to the FC26 Ultimate Team Deep Dive. And so it was released today. We also did get the beta codes and stuff like that. Although for my version, for some reason it was PS4. So I'm trying to get that sorted. When I play the game for a little bit, I'll let you know what I think. Give it at least a couple of days or so, just to kind of give you an idea what to expect for this one. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ultimate Team Deep Dive. So let's get it going. Ooh, okay, hold on. All right, I'm gonna be pausing plenty on this so I can take a look at it, like for for just for content, right? So we got live events. We got the Ultimate Gauntlet. Test your club dev in the Ultimate Gauntlet to complete objectives and earn rewards. Okay. A classic match, 3 rounds, Gauntlet. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, I'll try to let them like cook a little bit here. Hmm. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay, so that repeatable evils already sounds pretty good, but let's take a look here. Hmm. Nice. Okay, so yeah, so tournaments has been something that people have been asking for a long time to bring back, and I honestly think it's a good thing to have it. Especially if it's like for specific players that you want, or if it's like for great packs that you can use. I would say if you are going to use tournaments, they have to be mostly player based, not necessarily pack based rewards, or at least evos, because the only thing that I have a concern with packs though is the fact that they may not be worth it, because keep in mind that pack weight is still going to be a consideration to have when it comes to these kind of rewards. So say if you do like a tournament, you sweat hard for the 3 wins, possibly to avoid getting eliminated, and all you get out of that is what, like an 85-3 or something like that. It's not going to be worth it, to be honest. Especially if like the power curve ends up becoming more, I know they're talking about lowering the power curve in this game, but that can't be guaranteed. We don't know for sure. So we'll just keep it on the low for now. But I will say it will probably be more worth it if they're like player rewards as opposed to just packs. So tournaments is really good though. I do like the idea. Definitely try that out when it comes out. Okay, see that's cool. So yeah, you can definitely yeah, and see this is the kind of thing, right? I've seen this in like even like certain games, like when I play like gotcha games, for example, right? When I play like certain mobile games and stuff like that, there are certain events that actually have you select a squad to begin with, and then have you do a separate squad for maybe a second round, and then doing this and that. That way, you don't use the same exact squad every time. So you have to adapt your squad based on the position of the player, and also just like in general which players are going to be utilized. You're going to utilize later on, because keep in mind that for a lot of people, the first instinct they have is to put their best players first, but then they always forget about the second team, and then they end up putting like players that are semi or worse, not good enough, right? So what this will do is that it'll try to rebalance like those two teams. So say in the first team, you have say like say if you had a team that revolves around Mbappe on the first team, and then a team that revolves around Messi on the second team, for example, right? Say like a promo Messi, or say something like that, right? You have to adjust your teams based on that, as opposed to having both Messi and Mbappe on one team and then having your second team suck, basically. So I like the idea because it incentivizes, kind of like, squad building, tactics, all that stuff. So that's really good. I like that. And the fact that they give you high rewards for stuff like that, hopefully that's good. Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. See, right. Mm. Okay, yeah. See, so yeah, much like what we have with live events right now, they still will have like entry requirements and stuff like that, but also squad requirements. Yeah, like entering the challengers, you have to complete the challengers entry, and all that stuff, and then you have to be max division 6 and stuff like that for the live events. So that's good. I don't mind that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Bounties. Oh, interesting. So now we're having like goals basically in between rivals. So like for example, this one, duel score first. Score first to take the bounty and earn a premium gold pack. See, I don't mind this. At least as a starter for like a premium gold pack, that's okay. At least if you get first blood basically in a game, I don't mind that a lot. I think what I really want to know is the progression. Oh, every few matches. Okay, so see that changes things because I thought it was gonna be like a once in a week type of thing. I thought they would give you like a kind of like a goal every week, but it happens every couple of matches. So yeah, say if you get the score first, and then maybe in the next couple of matches, say like 2 matches later, they give you like a score and assist, kind of like that kind of deal, and then they give you a separate reward for that. That's actually not that bad. I don't mind that actually. I have too many water bottles in here. But that's actually really good. I do like that actually. All right. Hmm. Ooh. Okay, so that's interesting. So you could still get your points. Oh, okay. I see how they're doing. So I'm guessing for wins they give you a certain amount of points, but then you can top that off with the goal with the goal requirement. So if they give you like the certain goal, you can increase that towards your progress towards your weekly rewards. I actually like that. Again, and again, I don't know how they're gonna like do the whole placement of the games or how many games are required or how many points are required for the max reward, but we'll have to see. I guess. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. And see, I think we saw a little bit of that example earlier this year. I think I actually did get that earlier this year. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. I think someone quit on me as we were tied in the second half. However, when they and I think this will apply in the second half because I don't think it's going to be applied in the first half. But in the second half when they disconnected, right? And it was like a 3-3 game, I think, exactly like that. They quit, and I did get the win, so that was nice. I did like that. Yeah, and of course it was for a red card, so I guess that added to that. But yeah, red cards, penalties, and drawing. Yeah, those are very frustrating moments, but I would say that it's more frustrating when an opponent has to deal with that, and then they quit on you just because they feel like, oh, well, he's gonna win. I'm gonna take away the win. Yeah, no, that's bad. So I'm glad they're doing that change because honestly, it is frustrating. It is frustrating, and it's a waste of time. Hmm. Yeah, that's something that I feel like that's really good. So wait, hang on, let me hear that again just to be sure. See, I think that's really good. I have to see how that gets implemented. But yeah, evos that if you can evo a player without having to lose the visual, like the actual look of the evo, that's good. But the biggest thing for this one is the repeatable evo. So much like SBCs, like they mentioned, you can do it like a set amount of times that they have a repeatable, which is something that I think people have been mainly asking for, and it does add more depth to evos. So say you had like two players that can fit the same evo, but you want to do both, but you have to choose one or two. Well, guess what? Now you can do them both without having to either, well, depending if it's free or paid. I think the one thing they need to address is whether or not these paid evos are going to still be a big prominent thing throughout the year, because that has been the big problem this year for evos. There's been so many paid evos, and listen, I don't mind paid evos, but it has to be in moderation. It has to be like, you know, like kind of steady, and not like to the point where it's like every day is a paid evo. Every day is a paid evo. That was the problem with Foot Birthday. That was the problem with the team of the season as well. That there were so many paid evos and not a lot of free evos that it was like stifling, And like I said, I don't mind paid evos, but so long as the paid evos actually make it to the power curve. The free evos are the ones that you can like level it up to a certain point and this and that. But I feel the paid evos have to be limited because those are the ones that really do push the power curve. That's one of the things that made it push like so bad. Okay, see, okay, okay, that's okay. I already pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, so I'm gonna get the extra evil slot. I feel like this is kind of irritating in a sense. I don't know if they plan to maybe like in the future. I would say maybe post Team of the Year. I think that's when most people are gonna have like the ability to evo two players at once, but it has to be at some point. Like evos right now, yeah, you can set it at one because I don't think they're gonna be a lot of evos. But if there are a lot of evos, then I can see where the problem might be. But in Team of the Year, they have to, up it at some point because by that point, that's when the power curve is going to start to like slowly develop. That's when it's really going to have to, make progress more fluid. Right. Yep. Hmm. I know that feeling more than anybody right now. I literally finished foot champs yesterday, and that was a nightmare. Literally, a lot of the goals that were scored against me were goalie not rebounds. It was insane. Like literally every game, I had to deal with like two rebounds per game. It's insane. That's how bad it was. Hmm.
passes can sometimes be triggered in as little as 1 frame before receiving the ball, making your players more reactive to split-second decisions you make.
Good.
Each of these changes makes the game feel more responsive and encourages you to be in control, which is the feeling we want you to have when you play Ultimate Team this year. Ultimate Team is
Cold, Zlatan.
players you love, your tactics, your favorite modes, the choices you make as you play. And we hope
Nice.
by expanding FUT's competitive structure with more ways to compete, improving core parts of the FUT experience, and introducing competitive gameplay, that you'll feel in control on and off the pitch.
Nice.
Look out for more FUT info in the pitch notes right after this and on our social channels. Pre-order the FC
All right, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go take a look at the pitch notes here, so we can take a deeper look into the actual Ultimate Team experience here. So let me just shift this over here and let's take a look. So here we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ultimate Team pitch notes. So what do we got here? So what's new? I'm sorry. What is this? Reload. Okay. I hope that doesn't happen every time, but we'll see. Competitive gameplay centering on responsiveness, more consistency, and higher control, new way to compete, varied match settings, entry requirements, and new formats. No more playoffs, direct qualification, new bounties, and limited checkpoints. FUT match outcome improvements, award a win when opponent quits or disconnects during a draw. Evolve goalkeepers. Finally we're evolving goalkeepers. That's the one thing we've been asking for literally 2 years now. We finally gonna get ourselves goalkeepers that are evolvable. Finally, geez. Combine cosmetic upgrades without losing existing styles and maintain the look of your players when upgrade them. Nice. So let's take a look. So live events. Building on friendlies, live events are a new pillar of FUT's ultimate competitive structure. They're designed to bring more variety in what you play with the squads. Okay, I know that. Entry requirements. To enter some live events, your squad may need to meet custom criteria. Requirements are intended to create a competitive layer of progression and can enable you to qualify for special locked live events, which may include completing a specific objective or group, reaching a rivals division, rarity, club, league, nation count, player quality, chemistry, or position rules. Now, I think the one thing that will be a little bit of the balance is that, you know, for say like rivals division, I know, you know, it's like reaching, say, Division 3 rivals, right? Would it also be fair to try to create, like, maybe not necessarily reaching that, which is part of the requirement, but also competing against players within that division? Now, I know it's kind of a weird thing, right? But I think, for what it's worth, I think that's still kind of a thing for some, like, you know, tournaments and stuff like that. Maybe you'll compete against players who are Division 10 or Division 1 or Elite Division. I'm not sure how that's going to work for the competitive scene, but we'll see. Rarity, club, or league nation count. We know that for sure. We've done that. Player quality. That's a interesting one. Player quality. Chemistry or position rules. Maybe like they mean rating and stuff like that. See, for like this one, for example, it says right there, play 20 rivals matches. That's your entry to this live event. And then you'll need a minimum 5 La Liga players. So that's one of the examples, right? So if you want to compete into this one, you have to play the 20 rivals matches. Then you can join the live event and then you'll get those rewards. Okay, I see how that works. Live events can also include house rules, like for example, the classic match, max chemistry, first to X. Match limits. So, you know, certain live events could have like a certain amount of matches. And solo, co-op only, or open matchmaking. That could be a bit restrictive for a lot of people who play solo. But hopefully they won't drop too many co-op ones, you know? Objective linking. Rewards in your progression towards them are well known to friendlies fans, but often require you to jump across multiple menus to track your progress. Events are streamlining this for you, giving you direct access to claim what you've earned without digging through the objective menus. That's good, because that means, you know, instead of having to go all the way back to try to go back to the objectives to claim the rewards, I could just claim them straight from there, which is good. You'll be able to spend more time on the pitch and less time navigating menus. I mean, yeah, menus should still be easy, you know? I don't have a problem with that. Matchmaking can be configured for each individual live event to use either per event win form, good, and global win form. You match across global win form events. Okay, I see. So you'll also be matchmake based on the live events, like for the specific live event, or global, you know? So that's okay. Menu has been reworked from the ground to make it easier to navigate. Yep. The For You tab is personalized hub with the new play menu, resurfacing the most relevant content. Okay. New freshly launched competition. Continue playing. Okay. And upcoming shows future events in chronological order, allowing you to preview entry and squad requirements. Ah, that's interesting. So for this one, they'll give you like the heads up, being like, okay, here's this tournament. This is the criteria. Get ready. You know, that's good. Instead of having to like rush in the moment, being like, oh god, like do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have this? Now you can prepare. We got Rush, Rivals, Champs, Challengers, and Online Draft. If they're even gonna make any changes to Draft, who knows? Play versus Friend, Couch Player, Player Friend, we know that. FC Pro, PlayStation Tournaments, and up to 6 live events tabbed. Okay. All right, tournaments. Classic knockout format with new structures and flexible schedule, designed to appear at key moments rather than run every week or stay evergreen like Rivals or Champs. Okay, so these are not going to be like constant, so it's not going to be like every week. So it could literally be like, for say for example, like what's the next significant event? It'll probably be like the start of the Champions League. That's probably going to be a significant one. Yeah, something along those lines. Each tournament brings its own rewards with different squad rules and setups across the season to keep things fresh. So for like the single nation tournament, say like, yeah, if you win, you complete the 4 objectives, you get the rare mega pack, which is really good early on, right? Compete in singles nation tournament live event to complete objectives and earn rewards. Round of 16, 10 entries. Okay, so you can definitely enter 10 times, and I'm assuming you could only win once, or you can win it multiple times. So there's a bracket right there. That's interesting. Okay. Gauntlet are a new way to test your club depth and ability across multiple matches. Each gauntlet consists up to 5 matches. However, instead of using the same squad each match, you'll need a completely different squad for every match, including the entire subs / bench. That's insane. Although I'll know how people like will counteract this, and it really just depends, right? It'll just depend. I'm assuming that a lot of players are gonna have to like make, you know, a team and then put a bunch of bronzes on the bench so they won't have to waste them. But unlike that, I don't really necessarily see a problem with that. It does limit you, so that's kind of the whole point. At launch, we'll kick things off with the Ultimate Gauntlet, featuring 3 rounds requiring 3 unique squads and running every 2 weeks to start. This is just the beginning, with more details to come in the launch update, okay? Unlike tournaments, there's no elimination here. You can keep playing through the full gauntlet regardless of results, but the more you win, the better rewards. Okay. It's a format where squad building choices matter just as much as what happens on the pitch. Awesome. So yeah, you'll see here that the Letizia's Club, you get about 2 entries, and then you can try to win as many times as you can only win up to 3, but you won't get eliminated, so that's good at least. But you have to definitely try out new squads. That's pretty much the whole idea. FC Pro Live events, I'm not entirely interested in this. Rivals revamp. Our focus on FC26 is more fan requested changes. It feels like there's too many matches to play, especially if you're aiming for top rank rewards. Yes, that's been the whole problem with this. Keep in mind that as the current for the current Rivals points, you need 12 wins at max. And that's a lot, you know, like the 12 wins is a lot of wins to try to get to, you know, and considering how the gameplay was last year, the gameplay was not good, and considering it was worse, it used to be 15 matches. They actually had to lower that to make it better. So just that kind of just gives you an idea of just how bad it was. But yeah, the fact that you can they'll probably improve on that, that's good. Once you've climbed the divisions and are constantly matched up against similarly skilled players, the motivation to keep player can taper off. Yeah, that can happen too. Hitting a good run of form can leave you stranded in a higher division that you might not belong to, creating a huge losing streak as you wait for the season refresh. Yeah, that can happen too. That's for sure. We'll launch more details to share on Rivals matches and rewards closer to launch in the launch update pitch notes, but know that we hear you and we're working on it. Okay. All right. Bounties. Okay, bounties, this is what's interesting. So are randomly triggered challenges that apply to your next Rivals match. Complete one and you'll earn rewards immediately, ranging from rivals points, champs qualifications, coins, packs, season XP, to even rival stage skips, allowing you to progress up the ladder faster. Ooh, that's interesting. These are some of the examples of bounties you might encounter while playing. Score the first goal, score the last goal, win by 2 or more, keep a clean sheet. Yep. And I'm guessing depending on how difficult the bounty is, the more better the reward. So that'd be interesting. Duels. Oh, okay, this is new. Duels are special bounties that attempt to match you with opponents on the same challenge, like score first, ensuring that only one player can walk away with the reward. That's very interesting. So you'll go up against somebody who has the same objective as you, and if they're both incentivized to complete the objective, well, the first one to get there wins it. That's good. I like that. Limited checkpoints are a new form of breakable checkpoints that track losses and enables relegation. Once broken, you'll see how many losses remain when selecting a limited checkpoint, and the number of losses before it breaks can be different between each checkpoint. Okay. I feel like I had this issue where like I would get stuck in a division and then I suck for most of the time because I get matched up with a bunch of like insanos, you know. That's a good change. I don't mind that a lot, and I'm assuming like some of them will get like, you know, permanent and stuff like that, but for the most part some of them will have like limited amount of like games that you can lose before you get relegated, so that's okay. At times, qualifying for champs through playoffs was a tougher competition than champions itself, while for most of our skill players it was an extra skill check every week. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I find champs qualifiers to be extremely easy. It's the champs part that actually gets me the most. And rivals has become ironically more harder than champs. So, you know, that's kind of the ironic part. In response to feedback around the number of required matches, playoffs have been removed and FC26 are no longer part of champions. That's good. Instead, you'll qualify directly for champs by reaching specific rivals division and collecting champs qualification points. So yeah, of course, division 6 and up, champs. Division 6 below, challengers. So that's good. All right. Challenger for players outside the top divisions, we've added challengers, a new tier of champs with his own format of rewards. This gives players more chance to experience the champs feeling while keeping champs as the highest level of competition. Yeah, so basically have like champs, but not with the insano competition, basically. Although at the start of the game, that'll probably be the case. Competitive gameplay, we pretty much know about that. Updated match outcomes, yeah. When certain conditions are met when playing live events, rivals, and champs, you'll receive a win when your opponent either quits or disconnects from the match when the scoreline is a draw. Yes, that's good. We're still finalizing what those conditions will be, but similar to how this worked in FC25, there will be a limit on the number of times a player is able to receive a win from this each day, as well as a set of conditions within the match itself that will need to be met. So and this is the thing, right? It's not like this happens like so many times that it hurts, right? It just so happens that like, you know, when these certain things happen, I would say, you know, like it does get frustrating, especially when it comes to like multiple people, of course, right? But I'm not going to say that this happens every time. That's not how it happens, really. Like in that scenario that I mentioned earlier about the whole 3-3 draw, that was the only time that happened during champs. That was literally it. And on that one, I did get the win. So, like I said, it doesn't happen every time, but when it does happen, it does get frustrating. So, the fact that they're incentivizing people like not to quit when they're losing like that, then that just makes it better for me, you know? Yeah, and if they end up quitting because of a red card and stuff like that, I also think that, like if they draw and lose and stuff like that and they get a red card or a penalty, I think that should be automatic regardless of how many times they do it, because that could still happen, you know? So just keep that in mind. As we discussed last year, this is a complex space. When we change how players get wins, draws, or losses, exploits may occur, so we must be careful on how to make these changes. Yeah, of course. All right, that's interesting. Rush match outcome. Okay, matchmaking delays. We know that the best rush matches are built on the experiences you have with your teammates, so when those teammates are quitting or disconnecting, it can be a frustrating experience. Yep. To encourage teammates in Foot Rush to keep fighting until the very end of the match, we are including matchmaking delays and Foot Rush for players who consistently leave matches early. Okay, So okay, so wait, what does this mean? In foot rush for players who consistently leave matches early. So they're just like punishing them basically. Okay. Yes, goalkeeper evos are coming to FC26. We're also making additional changes that give you more freedom and clear progression as you build your ultimate team. Good. Again, finally, goalkeepers getting evos. That's fun. Repeatable evolutions. Most will be limited repeatable, meaning they can be completed in a set number of times, allowing you to apply them to multiple player items or even use them again on the same player if eligible. Good. That's really good. It takes the pressure off making the perfect choice right away and gives you more freedom to shape your squad your way. Good. Cosmetic stacking and rarity layers. You can now evolve players without changing their item design unless a specific evolution changes the rarity. Okay. Evolution status is marked with the new badging that can also be used in squad requirements, making it easier to track to build around evolve players in live events or rush. Cosmetic upgrades now stack and only overwrite each other when they affect the same type, so your unique look stays intact across evolutions. Good. Even when an item's rarity changes, animation and badge effects that aren't tied to rarity will carry over. Plus, evolution consumables now preview the cosmetics and rarity to unlock, helping you choose the right path for your squad. Okay. I think the one thing that can actually upgrade this the most now is if, say, you wanted to, like, in the same way they say that they can stack, instead of like overriding them, can you like freely choose which one you would want? So say like if you had like the gold upgrade and then a stackable gold upgrade, can you choose between the two later on? That'd be nice. Note that FC26 Ultimate Edition owners start with the 2 active evils at launch. Good. Graduated transfer market access. What is this? Graduated access, which limits some accounts' access to transfer market when they first access Football Ultimate Team, have been live in FC25 on PC since late 2024. In FC26, it will be active for all platforms. If you're a returning FUT player on the same platform and your account meets the requirements and it's in good standing, you'll have immediate access to the full transfer market when you log in for the first time in FC26. Good. Because that's been the biggest problem every year that when we start. We don't have access to the transfer market when we launch into the game. Yeah. If you're a new player or your old account did not meet the requirements, a series of foundation objectives will grant transfer market access once they've been completed and a period of time has passed. As for how long that is, we don't know. Limiting transfer market access for new accounts help protect the economy for potential rule-breaking activity. Yeah, we got that. Objectives. Previously, you would have to navigate to objectives in order to find available objectives in the rewards. In the new FC26 play menu, relevant objectives will be viewable while highlighting each game mode. For live events, you can also see the entry requirements so you know exactly where you need to join. Nice. Okay, cool. We'll be sharing more details in the launch update pitch notes. All right, cool. So that's it. That's it for the pitch notes for Ultimate Team. Not bad. I would say it's pretty good. There are plenty of changes that are really cool. I'll have to see what the gauntlet and tournament are going to end up looking like as we play. And I already have the FC26 beta, but I only have it for old gen. So I don't know if that's going to work well. I might have to check, but I'm not entirely positive. But once I get to look at the beta, I'll let you guys know. But with that being said, yeah, that's pretty much it for FC26 for the pitch notes. So far, really good. The fact that they're changing up how we're getting in division rivals, how we're changing it to get into champs, and adding tournaments and gauntlets. That's some good stuff, man. That's some good stuff. But yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the pitch notes. Let me know what you guys think about Ultimate Team. Does it look like an improvement to you? Let me know. And yeah, with that being said, I'll catch you on the next video. See ya.